Imagine what would happen if you suddenly decided to become fluent in English. Spend the next month and year studying endless grammar rules, complicated tenses. Thankfully, this is no longer the case. You can be absolutely fluent without these things. There's a study that shows 85% of written and spoken English is done in just 3 basic tenses. Hang on a second. Can you imagine that? Native speakers use only 3 tenses in around 85% of their communications. So clearly, the single and the quickest way to become fluent in English to learn these 3 tenses. It's like a shortcut to fluency. So today, I'm going to talk about the most commonly used tenses in English and why they are important, and then I'm going to talk about how and when we should use them. So the second part of this video is going to be like a grammar lesson. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so basically there are 3 tenses: the present, the past, and the future. But we also have 4 different aspects within these tenses: the simple, the continuous, the perfect simple, and the perfect continuous. So when we combine them, we get the 12 tenses. The 12 tenses that cause so many of you lots of headache. In speaking, not being able to decide which one to use doesn't let you to express yourself fluently, right? But don't worry, not all these tenses are used equally. Well, let's see. Firstly, we have the present simple. It's the most common used verb tense that makes up nearly 58% of written and spoken English. So as you can see, the present simple alone accounts for more than half of the English communication. Then we have the past simple, making up at around 20%. Then we have the future simple, at close to 8%. So these simple tenses, the basic tenses, total up to 85% of the entire usage of spoken and written English. You see, the top tenses are the present simple, the past simple, and the future simple. So needless to say, if we learn them pretty well, if we can use them without thinking of their grammatical structure, if we become fluent in using them, well, obviously, we can communicate in English comfortably and confidently. And actually, we can do that even if we have a very basic knowledge of English. Now, I'm saying so because these verb tenses are the first verb tenses that you learn when you first start studying English. But if we skip this fundamental part, if we don't learn and don't understand how to use them when we are speaking, we are left with the default. So the way that I like to think of it is that view the verb tenses as a tree, as a beautiful tree. So when we want to draw this tree, we first start by sketching the trunk, learning the simple tenses. The simple tenses are the trunk of this tree. And then we sketch the branches, learning the present perfect and present continuous. And then we get into the leaves, the other verb tenses. So always appreciate the trunk. Appreciate learning the simple tenses. When we learn English, we like to focus on learning less common verb tenses, the leaves, while completely ignoring the trunk, the simple tenses, and therefore end up not really improving overall. And we can be excused for that. For the longest time, we used to think that we should learn all the 12 verb tenses to move up to the advanced level and fluency. Well, the problem is no one tells us this, which they should. As an English teacher and someone who studied English literature, scientifically speaking, I do believe we don't need all the complicated tenses to speak English fluently. So let's learn how and when to use them. Alright, we start with the verb tense that English native speakers use the most, the present simple. The present simple is used to talk about facts and regular actions, actions that happen regularly. For example, my name is Katy. I work as an English teacher. I drive to work. I drink green tea at breakfast. We also use the present simple to talk about fixed arrangements. For example, the library opens at 9. My exam starts at 8. And here's the structure of the present simple. Subject plus the base form of a verb, except from in the third person singular. In the third person singular, the verb ends in S. So I, you, we, they drink. He, she, and it drinks. We also have the verb be. To be has its own forms in the present simple. So I am, you are, we are, they are, he, she, and it is. Alright, now we have the past simple, the second most commonly used verb tense. We use it to talk about events, situations, and actions that happened and ended before the present moment, before now. The structure is subject plus regular verb followed by ed. I played tennis last week. I called my sister yesterday. However, lots of verbs are irregular. You have to learn them by heart. You have to memorize them. So for example, I got up early and had a cup of coffee this morning. And the last one, the future simple. There are two most common ways to express the future simple. The first one is subject plus will plus the base verb. So we use it when we decide on a future action at the moment. So for example, I'll open the door. We also use it to make offers and promises. I will help you with your homework. Now the second way is be going to, and we use it to talk about future plans. Now the structure is subject plus verb be, and depending on the subject, we change be. So it's I'm going to, you're going to, they're going to, we're going to, and she's going to, he's going to, and it's going to. I'm going to go out with my friends tonight. And it's usually said, I'm Mena. So I'm gonna go out with my friends tonight. We also use be going to predict something will happen in the future based on what we see or what we feel. So for example, I can see dark clouds now, so I can say, it's going to rain. It's gonna rain. That's it. That was a quick overview on the simple tenses to refresh your memory. Guys, these verb tenses are very important. Remember, these are the trunk of our tree. So if you are looking for a way to quickly be able to communicate in English, to express yourself fluently in English, learn them. Learn them in a way to be able to use them without hesitation, with the right flow. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. That it was all about the shortcut to the fluency. I hope that you really enjoyed this video. If so, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!